What's up, y'all? Look, don't beat me up because I know I posted being back probably a month ago about my videos, but every single time I tried to record, my videos was not coming out. I was losing storage on my phone, so I had to delete. But I'm back. And I'm just gonna tell my story. I have been trying to, I guess, beat around the bush, you would say. And I have been telling all these other stories, but I have a story. And I feel like we all have a story. Let's normalize telling our story, telling the things that we have been through. And I know a lot of people be like, well, I'm not going to tell my story. I'm going to just let them think what they want to think. No, because sometimes people be wrong. Sometimes it be the principle. Sometimes it be like, you really tried me? So yeah, let's get to know Malice for real. Like my real name, it's Malice, and I know I went on this journey of changing my name to pronunciation once I realized what Malice really meant. I wanted to change my name, the pronunciation, and actually go by how it's spelled. So my name is Malice, but it's spelled Malace. And for those of you who know, if you read your Bible, you know exactly what Malice means. And it's not a pretty name, right? And sad to say, I got bullied a lot, especially working at Walmart with that name. People will always walk up and be like, did your mama know what she did when she named you Malice? What was your mama thinking? And it's just like, okay, it's just a name. But we're not going to make this video about my name. We're going to make this video about me. And I'm going to finally tell my story of who I am and where I grew up at, where I'm from, and just tell y'all about Malice. And I am a loyal person. I am a loving person. I am an honest person. I am a generous person. And I know you probably heard stories about me, you know what I'm saying? And I probably did do those things at the time, or I probably did say those things. But overall, I have always meant well in anything that I do. I am a single mom. I lost my child's father when my daughter was 1. I am a hairstylist. I am, and I know I created a video saying I don't like doing hair, but I feel like I spoke too soon to say I don't like doing hair. I just don't like clients who don't respect my business. So it's not that I don't like doing hair. Sometimes it could be overwhelming dealing with people because this is a business overall, and you deal with so many different people. And also too, I feel like I wasn't growing and I wasn't knowledgeable, but we'll get to that point. I'm 30 years old and I will be 31 soon. Yes, and I'm growing, you guys, and I'm healing. So I was born in Hammond, Louisiana, a small town. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Clock it. I made it out. You know what I'm saying? It's so many things that I have experienced, and it's so many things that I have been through. And you know what? I am proud of myself. I'm proud of myself because I probably wouldn't have made it this far, especially with the lifestyle. So I was raised by a single mother. My mother is a beautiful, hustling, outgoing woman. But my story is my story, and the things that I have experienced, I experienced it. And so we ended up moving to Atlanta when I was 6 years old. In that time, it's not so much that I kind of remember. I only because I've been through a lot. Like trauma has really like did a number on me, baby. Okay. And I feel like, I was just like surviving. I did have to watch my brother a lot. So I say that to say that, even though my mom was a single parent and we never ever went without. Like we never went without. We had all the finest things, designer, we had it all. We had a roof. She kept a roof over our head. But I feel like because I'm a mom now of a 13-year-old, and I can see both sides of the story. I can see where my mother was having issues as far as just being a single parent. And then I can also see too where you being a hustler and you're trying to survive in this life, and life be life, and okay. And so I like to look at, both sides of the story to see both perspectives or whatever the case may be. And I had to be the help, basically. And so during that time of me just like, I guess, like helping my mom out with my brother, I was continuously getting beat. I was abused. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I was abused over and over again. I'm not sure what my mother was going through. I'm not sure what she was facing or whatever the case may be. But this is my story, and these are the things that I did experience. I grew up with a very, like, I would say I was taught to be selfish because sometimes as parents we teach our kids whatever it is that we was taught or however we was treated. Not to say that it's right, but at the end of the day, wrong is wrong and right is right. And so even though I grew up in that light, it was very hard for me because it made me angry by me getting beat. I would get beat for not cleaning my mother's room the right way. I would get beat for not, making sure my brother did what he was supposed to do. And even so, even in that process of me getting abused, I would go to school very angry. I was a very angry child because of my environment and how I was brought up. And I feel like parents need to understand that this is a relationship because I am a parent. It's not, oh, okay, well, I'm a parent, I gotta take care of you, these, this, that, and the third. It's just like, okay, understand that we have to have some type of communication. It's not a one-way street. And like I say, me being a parent, I can see that now. I can see that, okay, my daughter is different from me. She likes this, I don't like this. I like this, she don't like this. It's we are two different people. And being raised by a narcissistic parent or being raised by a mother who's living in survival mode, it's kind of like, okay, well, what I say goes. And I feel like it should have been a more so open relationship, but this is not about her. This is more so about me and the things that I experienced and who I am and where I come from. So I, like I said, I come from a abusive home. I was always angry, so I'm going to school angry. And I think that telling your story will help people understand you just a little bit better. And even for the people who don't understand you, it's okay. It's not meant for you to understand me, but I just feel like it should be more so of a open book, or you should be open about your story, because then people will understand, oh, okay, why she so mean, or why she have an attitude. I experienced a lot growing up. I experienced a lot of just being put in my mother's shoes because she didn't have the help that she should have got. She didn't have the support that she should have got by us moving to Atlanta, Georgia. It should have been a support system, but it wasn't a support system. So she did the best that she can do as a single parent. And I don't knock her for it. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? These are the things that I did experience as a child. And I thought that it was normal, and it wasn't. Not only was I abused, I was also molested by family members, who people, babysitters, people who were supposed to keep me, people who were supposed to protect me, and they didn't. And so growing up in that type of environment can make you very numb. It can make you very cold. It can make you very angry, and it can make you very, very bitter and resentful to a lot of things. It can also make you have problems with keeping them in, or problems with keeping friendships because you don't trust. And so now that I'm going through this healing process and understanding, like, okay, who I am, because I'm actually seeking God more, he's showing me why I was broken in. He's showing me different things that transpired in my life that should have never happened. So by me growing up, like I said, in Atlanta, Georgia, I went to Atlanta, Georgia when I was 6 years old. um, I started getting molested at the age of 5, by my babysitter. And just imagine having to be around this person and thinking what this person is doing, because okay, when you get molested, it does feel good to you, but you not knowing, because you're a kid, you're a child, you don't know. You think that this is okay, and it's literally not. And so that's why I feel like, too, in a sense, you have to be careful how you treat people. And I do not play if a child says something is going on with them. Parents be like, oh, she just talking. But because of what I experienced as a child, I don't take it lightly when a child say anything. I'm not gonna just jump and be like, okay, you right, but I'm gonna do some investigating. So like I said, I started getting molested at the age of 5, which was in Louisiana, before we actually moved to Atlanta. Once we moved to Atlanta, it's like my vision is kind of like blurry from the time that I was 6. I don't really remember too much of what happened during that time. I just know that by the age of 9 is what I actually remember. I had to start watching my brother, which his name is Zell, at the age of 9. So I was responsible for a cell phone. I was responsible for another child at the age of 9 years old. My mom started leaving us at home at the age of 9. I was 9 years old. And so we would get home from school, and if anybody knows my brother, I knew of my brother, he was not a easygoing child, okay? And so because he knew that there was favoritism in the house, my mother did show favoritism between me and my brother. My brother was her favorite. Like, it's just what it is. And I would always be responsible for whatever he did. Like, I would get beat if he didn't clean her, if he didn't help, if we had to clean her room, he didn't help clean her room. And he knew this. Like, he knew this about my mother. He would always be like, well, you don't want to get in trouble. It ain't gonna be me. And he would do stuff on purpose. And it's like nothing I said, nothing I did would matter to her, because she's like, you the oldest, so you finna get it because you should have knew this and you should have known that. But you got to understand, I'm 9 years old. Like, my brain still is not really calculating all the way to even understand that what's going on and why I even have this responsibility. So I never really had a chance to be a kid. I never really had a chance to get to know who I was, what I liked, what I didn't like, and so forth and so on. And so at the age of 9, like I said, I was responsible for things I should have never been responsible for at a kid age, right? But because I have a mom who is doing the best that she could, a single parent of 2 kids, she thought in her mind or in her brain cells that this was okay to do. Not only that, I'm getting beat. Like, it's not no whoopings. I'm getting punched, stomped, kicked like a rat dog. So just imagine I'm waking up and I'm going to school. I'm getting beat out of my sleep. Because first of all, you're angry about having to wake us up in the morning time and get us ready for school. But as a parent, that's what you're supposed to be doing. So I'm in this environment that's not healthy for me. I'm in this environment that's just not not a great environment. And I'm going through life and I'm angry. I'm an angry child. I'm an angry person. As time progressed, I just remember like we were switching schools, we would go here, we would go there. And I just remember like being, I think maybe 12 or 13. I was maybe 11, maybe 11. I don't know. I just know we ended up moving um to a different side of town. And I'll never forget, my mom had my brother going to stay with somebody else because he wanted to play football. And she couldn't travel from like back and forth to be able to get him to football practice. So she allowed him to stay with one of her homegirls. And I would never forget this time that basically he came back. And when he came back, I had to be responsible for showing him where the bus stop was at. And like, my brother would do stuff on purpose because he knew that he was not going to get in trouble, like I stated before. And so it was time for us to ride the bus. And my mama was like, okay, she woke us up late. Okay, I'm 9 years old. Okay, I should not be waking myself up, but whatever. She woke us up late. So we getting ready to go to the bus. She's like, y'all better not miss that bus. Y'all better not miss that bus. And so as we going to the bus, my brother just walking because he got an attitude. I don't know why he got no attitude. I don't know. I just know I'm running because I know I was afraid of my mother. The way that she would beat us, I was highly afraid of her. I was scared. So that's why in the streets, I'm already scared at home. Ain't nobody finna make me scared in the streets. You feel me? So okay, I had this attitude like, you're not about to play with me and you gonna respect me. So we having to run to the bus. I'm running to the bus. My brother didn't run. He didn't run to the bus. So he ended up missing the bus. I'm telling him, like, get on the bus. Come on, get on the bus. Get on the bus. He looking at me. Like, baby, you're going to have to get off the bus. And I knew if I would have left my brother, I would have been in way more trouble. So I get off the bus. Get off the bus. This boy ran all the way home. Soon as I walk in the door, literally, soon as I walk in the door, I get punched dead in my face. So not only did I get punched, I get drugged. Like, I literally still have the marks on my fingers from me getting beat that day for basically us missing the bus and her having to bring us to school. So imagine what my mindset is at. Imagine as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, you know what I'm saying, how I'm feeling in the inside as a person, right? Go to school, going to school, not even really focus on learning because once again, I'm in survival mode. I'm in just the environment I'm in is just not safe. So I'm never even really focused on learning. I don't even care to learn. I'm just here. I'm just here at this point. And these are the things that I'm actually recognizing as I become an adult. Things that transpired in my life that should have never transpired. And this is just the things that I experienced and what I went through as a child coming up. So that's just what I remember. Because like I say, I'm not gonna lie, I was beat so much. Some of my memory, it comes and goes. Okay. So I just remember this time frame. We ended up, I think moving somewhere else, and it was just like I had to be responsible for this another a bad child. My brother was bad. He did what he wanted to do. He said what he wanted to say. He was bad. Okay, real bad. And my mama was not around, so she don't know what I'm experiencing with her child that she done left me with by ourselves. Okay, and it wasn't pretty. The things that he would say, the things that he would do, and how he would threaten me and like, oh, if you don't do this, if you don't do that. I even was molested by my own brother. If you don't do this, I'm gonna tell mama. You know she gonna get you. I'm gonna tell mama. And I used to be so terrified to the point where I would do it because I don't want my mama to beat me because that's all she did. It was not no whooping. It was not no talking to. It wasn't no the disciplinary. You was getting beat bad with a extension cord, with hands, whatever it is. She felt like she was gonna do. It was gonna get done. So okay, fast forward. We ended up moving back to Louisiana. Not only that, not that I only get molested by my babysitters, even in Louisiana, I even got molested by my babysitters here in Georgia. I even got molested by my family members. So just imagine a child who is never safe. You're never safe. The environment is never good for you. It's like, okay, you're going to have trust issues. You're going to have issues. And it's like, I feel like I need to tell my story because if I have experiences as a child growing up and just being numb to everything, I know that it's other people who have experienced these things and going through these things and don't know how to, they have gotten to a point in their life that they don't even know how to communicate well with others because of the things that they have experienced. So we ended up, like I said, moving back to Louisiana when I was like 13 years old. And during this time that we moved back, it was like it was nothing for us to do because now we're in this environment that I come from an advanced environment. Atlanta is faster than Louisiana. People are thinking that I'm not from Louisiana. So now, in a sense, we people are trying to bully us because we're not from here. Just imagine people trying to bully us in Atlanta too because we not from Atlanta. They like, oh, they from New Orleans. They from New Orleans. I'm not even from New Orleans, first of all. I'm from here in Louisiana, which is a small country town. It's 45 minutes away, whatever. And so we get bullied here. It's like it was just so much of just transitioning from one state to the next all the time, going through this at home with your mother, going through this at school. So it's like, but dang, when am I ever going to get some like a safe space? When I'm ever going to be protected? When am I ever going to be this, that, and the third? My environment on growing up was very, very, very chaotic. And it's like nobody would even know that I went through these things because of the way that she dressed us up or the way that we looked. And we went through a lot. Not to say that my brother didn't go through anything too. I don't know. I just know that I'm telling my story. And so, like I said, I was responsible for a lot of things I should have never been responsible for. Handicap in different ways. So as I'm growing up, it's just kind of like hard for me. So we ended up moving back to Louisiana at the age of 13. Now I'm in this environment to where it's nothing to do here. Like I was. So now I'm in this transition phase and people don't know us. People don't know where we come from. Even though I have family there, all of my family here, we had no family in Georgia. All our family was in Louisiana. So we would always go back for the summer, but every time I would go back for the summer, I would stay with my cousins. And even the women that was in that home, their mindset was completely different. They even like they bully me in a sense. Like that's how I would look at it, and that's what I would say because it was never no uplifting. It was always they would point out the negative. Oh, your toes ugly. Oh, you some ugly. Like it was always like negative things being said to me as a child. Like if I'm being completely honest, I was never supported. I was never uplifted. I was never inspired. I was never encouraged. And just imagine, you know what I'm saying, going through something like that. So anything that you see, I had to build myself up that way. Like I kid you, no lie, it was no woman in my environment that I would say, oh, I looked up to that woman, or that woman helped me succeed, or that was my motivation. No, all the women that I saw was women that I would not look up to, women that I would not follow, women that did not inspire me or did not encourage me. And not to like judge them or talk down on them. This is just the truth of what it really is. And I think people get upset when they be like, when people tell the truth. And I'm only telling the truth because this is really what I experienced and what I had to go through. And I want to paint a picture for people that's probably going through the same exact thing. Like I just always had this faith. Like I just always knew that it was going to be something in my life. it's just no way that I was just gonna end up being nothing. I just always believed in myself to whether it was I was depending on a man, or you know what I'm saying, I just knew that this person was gonna get me there, or I was gonna get myself there. I just knew that I was gonna be something, and still to this day still feel the same exact way. A delay is not a denial. You know what I'm saying? Everything is on God's timing. And so my story is my story for a reason. I went through those different things for a reason. At first I couldn't see. At first I didn't understand it. At first it was just like, what is this? But it's just like I experienced it for God to get the glory, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, now that I look back in my life, that God was always with me. So I ended up moving back, like I said, when I was 13 years old. My mama left us with these pastors, people of a church, right? And so we're living with these people. We probably stayed with these people for about a good year. They were supposed to teach us manners. And I'm thinking in my head, like, ain't this your job? But even staying with these people, they beat us as well. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say we was not bad kids. We was very misunderstood. And so people would probably label it as, okay, they was bad, they was bad, they was bad. Or like even now people would say, I'm crazy. It's not that I'm crazy. I'm just broken. I've been through things. Like been, I've been through some serious things. And so it's just like you get in the aftermath, or you get in the effect, baby. I can't even say, you getting the end of the stick or the end of the deal. And it's not that I'm trying to give you that, it's just that I don't even know how to operate out of this brokenness, right? And so even now, like I'm just now starting this healing phase of knowing who I am, knowing what I want, like knowing my true identity, because I never had the time to figure out who I was, because I was too busy taking care of somebody else's child. I was too busy having responsibilities I had no business having responsibilities for. So I never was able to figure out as a child who I was, or what I even wanted, or what I even liked, because I was always told, you're gonna do this, or you better do this, or you better do this. You know what I'm saying? In that sense. And so we living with these people who are supposed to be pastors, but they're not following the word of God. And I can say that because now I understand it, and I'm reading it for myself, and I'm actually following, I'm applying these principles in life. It don't give that. And you know, my mom she knows the Bible, and whatever the case may be, she wasn't following even herself. So I'm around a lot of hypocrites. That's the correct terminology for it. And it's like, okay, why would you say that about your mom? Or why would you say that about people? That is the truth. If you're saying something else or doing something else and you're not following it, you're deemed as a hypocrite. That's just what it is. And so it's just like, okay, we're around these people that's supposed to be pastors, but the church was dead in the inside. Like these spirits, these people, because we are spiritual people, whether you want to believe it, know it, acknowledge it or not. I'm doing my research and I'm understanding that, okay, we are dealing with spirits, and these spirits operate in these bodies. You can either have a good spirit or you can have a bad spirit. Especially if you're an evil person or you always manipulate somebody, you have a bad spirit. You are deceiving people. You are a manipulator. You are everything that's not of God. And the opposite of that is love, patient, kind, genuineness. And that's the Holy Spirit. Some people are not filled with the Holy Spirit. Some people are just a spirit that's broken, that's not healed, or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to this church dealing with these people that are not really of God. It's because they say it's a church and because they say they of God. And I think that's where a lot of people, and I respect it, to be very honest, as to why people don't go to church, as to why people don't even believe in God, because we have these people who are pretending, who's not standing on the word of God at all. And I experienced this twice. So I definitely understand why people feel how they feel about the church. It's very understanding. Going through this, and these people are treating us like this. You know what I'm saying? My mama don't know this because she's not around. And because they would call her and say certain things, or we telling her what's going on, she didn't even believe us or believe what was going on, because I don't know, she just wanted to live her life and just ignore the fact that whatever. I can't say what it is that she was going through. I just know what I experienced when she wasn't around, and it was traumatic. It was degrading. Um, yeah, we probably was bad. Yeah, we probably did things that we wasn't supposed to do, but that does not mean beat your kids to the point where they're bleeding, or beat your kids to where they don't even have confidence within themselves and talking down. So it was verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. It was a lot of abuse. Um, from everybody. So that's why I don't even trust people with my own child, to be quite frankly honest with you. Um, Experiencing that put me in a bad place. Fast forward, I was having problems at school. I was going to him high, fighting all the time. You know what I'm saying? Jealous of other girls because they come to school all happy inside, even though I was dressed well. They had these auras, and I understand now it's because they had great environments. Those young ladies' parents poured into them, and I was not getting poured into as a child. I was more so getting bullied and beat on, and I wasn't able to understand it at the time because of, just lack of knowledge and not really understanding. And not to say, okay, I can blame my mother because I could, but as an adult now, it's like, okay, now what are you gonna do? Even though those things happen to you, what are you going to do for yourself? How are you going to start healing? How are you going to start showing up for yourself and your daughter? I can keep using that for excuse and just keep being nasty and rude, but it's just like, okay, where's that going to get you? And I feel like God didn't want me there because he knows my heart. God knows my heart. Regardless of what people think about me or what people say about me, God knows that I'm an honest person. He knows that I'm a genuine person. He knows I'm a person of justice. He knows that I love love. But because I was broken so much, I showed up broken. And so, like, fast forward, um, I'm going to, I'm staying with different people at this point because I believe I tried to run away at the age of like 14 or whatever like that. Had a boyfriend at 14. I was going with this boy named Walter. He was from New Orleans, and literally, like, at first, like, he was somebody to help me escape, but it was more so of a sexual thing. It wasn't really like deep or whatever the case may be. It was just more so that we would just have sex all the time. And he was older than me. He had his own car, he had his own job, so he would always come pick me up. So now it's like I'm sneaking around, I'm doing this, and my mom is not knowing I'm doing these things, of course. But I'm just, I guess, looking for love in all the wrong places is what I would say for sure. My father was not around. Everybody know my daddy. Like, he experienced his own things in his life, and got shot a few times, laid on his deathbed, died. Like, he just was not there. Um so I'm dealing with a woman who is there but not there, who just know how to provide financially, but not mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. I mean, mentally, but financially, yeah, she was a great provider, and I don't take that from her. I don't discredit her from that. Doing the best that she could, she did all she could do because it's no book on how to be no parent. It's not. But at the end of the day, my story is my story, and I'm gonna keep saying that. So I'm at this point, I'm 14. I done moved back to Louisiana, and I'm smelling myself. Like, that's just what it is. And I'm looking for love in all the wrong places, and I felt like I was in love. Not knowing what love is, not even knowing what love looks like, because I never really experienced love even from my mom. Because, like I said, I was always just responsible for another child while my mama was going out doing whatever. My mama would leave us with anybody. Everybody know this. This ain't no secret. Whoever would keep us, she was leaving us and she was pulling off, baby. That just is what it is. And so it's like, yeah, I raised y'all, but it's a difference between raising and taking care of a child. And so, yeah, fast forward, I ended up getting pregnant at the age of 16. Fell in love, like, let's take it back a little bit because this, like, I think this is like my favorite part because this person seen me. He seen me when I didn't see myself. He loved me when I didn't love myself. I don't know if it was because of the conversation, but we connected like instantly. Um, and it was helpful to my life because I got blessed with a child. And I feel like if I would have never had my daughter, I would have had nothing to fight for. And so it was during the summer. Now, I ended up getting put out of school on the last day of school, the last 5 minutes. Somebody cracked the joke, and baby, I laughed too hard. I laughed so hard, the teacher said I cracked the joke and basically expelled me. I got expelled. My mama was pissed. And when she get mad, baby, it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. Yeah, so I ended up meeting this dude named like, well, I had a boyfriend before, which was Walter. But Walter ended up putting his hands on me. And I wasn't going for that because I used to get, like I said, I used to get beat. And I was not having it. You gonna respect me. Okay? My mama already don't respect me, nigga. You think you finna disrespect me? Hello. No, 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 no. So yeah, he ended up putting his hands on me, and I was already on the phone. Like I had a boyfriend, but I would only talk. I wasn't having sex with both of them. I would only talk on the phone with Papa. So, and make a long story short, I ended up meeting him. We was at I was with my cousin, and this is my first cousin. Our daddies are brothers. So we was at this park, and she was talking to his friend or his cousin. I don't know if TJ and him is friends, cousins. I think they friends. They was friends. And so he ended up seeing me. And when he saw me, I literally, y'all, had just got put out. My mama had just put me out and sent me to the streets. I think we had just gotten into it or something like that. But our relationship has always been up and down, up and down. Because I just felt like you should respect me as a child. Like I understand that I'm your child and what you say go, but you have it's a respect thing. And my mama did not respect me because she felt like you the child and I don't owe you no respect. And I feel like, yeah, you do. Like I'm still a human. Like love me. And she didn't know how to do that. So anyway, I ended up meeting my baby daddy. And when I met him, I was literally like going through something. I was sitting on top of a car and my cousin was pointing over my head. She was like, who her? Who her? And so I'm looking up like, girl, move your hands on my head. Like, what's going on? And so he like, yeah, you come here. And so I'm looking around like, me? Because remind you, like, I didn't got into it with my mama. So, like, I'm at the park, but my head space, I'm always in my head. Like, I'm always in my head. And so when I get up on him, he's like walking around in a circle, like, check me out. Like, and I ain't even had no phone. But he like, what's your number? So I'm like, let me get your number because I'm gonna call you. And y'all, so I started calling this man or whatever. First, he told me his name was Samaj because he didn't like his name being James. That was Papa's real name, it was James. So he told me his name was Samaj. So I'm like, okay. So I ended up I was getting my cousin, I would get people phones, y'all, and I would call him because he just, like I said, he seen me. He heard me. He understood me. And it was more so of a conversation for me. Like I didn't have sex with him for about, I would say a month and a half, maybe almost 2 months. I don't remember. I just know that it wasn't like an instant thing because I did have a boyfriend. And me and my boyfriend was having sex at the time. Even though I was young, hey baby, this is what I'm doing. I like to keep it real. And it was a different feeling. And we would talk and we would talk about everything. Like whatever he was going through, I would listen to him, he would listen to me. And that was my boy. That was my best friend before it was anything. And so I would always tell him all my problems and he would just listen. Like he would just listen. Listen. Listen, Linda. So this particular day, I ended up getting put out of school the last 5 minutes, the last day of school. My mom was highly upset. And so by her getting so mad, she put me out. She was like, you finna go stay with your daddy. I can't take this no more. She was very like emotionally unstable. And so she would lose her emotions and she would flip out. And so she put me out. And when she put me out, I called my baby daddy. I called him. I'm just like, I need somewhere to stay. My mom didn't put me out. Put me with my daddy. I never stayed with my daddy a day in my life. Okay. So I ended up taking my basket because she packed my clothes and everything. So I ended up taking my basket and walking to my cousin's house. My cousin's house, which is was not my actual cousin, but she was my cousin of my first cousin. And I walked the basket there, but I ended up calling my baby daddy late at night. And so when I called him, he can't pick me up. He can't pick me up. I got pregnant that same night, y'all, to be very honest with y'all. And he, as the time was going on, like we was cool. I didn't know I was pregnant. Got pregnant the first night and he did not claim my child. Like he didn't think my child was for him because okay, I didn't know him. Everybody knew Lil Papa already and knew who he was, but because I'm not from here, remember I just moved here. I moved here when I was 13, going on 14 years old. I probably had been there because I got pregnant at 16, so I had probably been there like a year and a half. So I really genuinely didn't know him. Everybody else knew him. He was very well known. He was from 212, grew up in 212, but he lived in Independence called the Jungle. So okay, cool. I don't know this fella. This fella think I know him. So he's at this point. you know what I'm saying? I ended up getting pregnant so fast, connection was there. He's not claiming my child. Fast forward or whatever, I'm not knowing I'm pregnant. Okay. My mama knew I was having sex or whatever, so she ended up putting me on birth control. But it was, I don't know if it was too late. I ended up getting pregnant on birth control. I just know that my child ended up coming here. I didn't find out I was pregnant until I was 5 months, going on 6 months. So I'm telling this man this, and this man did not believe that. Not, and I understood once he told me the story. I understood why or whatever. So remember, I'm just this child that has been abused. I was responsible for my little brother. Like I've always been going through it, but I suppressed those feelings because at this point it's life. At least that's what I'm thinking. That it's normal for me to be going through these things. Whole time it's not normal. So I didn't think I didn't found love like at this point, with this man. And he was older than me. I lied to him about my age and he was pissed. Oh baby, he was pissed. He was pissed when he found out. He was highly upset. Like, you 16? What? And I think my baby daddy was like 18 at the time. But it's not really a big difference. I lied to him I was 17. Like, be cool. Yeah, like I said, I was 30 or something. Yeah, so fast forward, I ended up finding out I was pregnant while I was on birth control, and it didn't make sense because I'm like, it's no way I could be pregnant. I felt my child moving in my stomach, and I'm just like, something is not right. I was eating certain things, and I was throwing up, and I would always walk and go get a pickle and some hot Cheetos every single morning. And at this time, I was not even staying with mama. She hadn't put me out. I was staying with the church member who I told y'all prior to, who had to raise us and teach us manners when I was like, I probably been like 10 or 9. I don't even remember the age. Like, life gets blurred for me all the time. But they oldest daughter had a trailer in Mooney. I think it was Mooney or whatever. But anyway, I ended up starting living with her in the trailer. And I got pregnant at that time. And I would walk and go get these pickles and these hot chips every single morning. But I'm not knowing I'm pregnant. I'm not knowing I'm pregnant. God knew that I needed this child in order to survive. So I didn't find out I was pregnant until I was like I said, 5.5, 6 months. So I ended up going back to my mom because she would get tired of me and she would just like send me out, basically. She would send me out. I done got sent off like 3 or 4 times out of my life, y'all, to be honest. I would always stand with somebody because I was always doing something. And it was just too much for her as a parent. So I'm staying with this person and end up going back inside my mama. So I tell my mama best friend, I'm like, I think I'm pregnant. Once I felt my child move. So my mama, she comes, she like I, I guess the girl, I don't know how it happened. She ended up calling my mom, but anyway, my mom, making long story short, she ended up coming to the house with a pregnancy test. And y'all, the minute I pee on the pregnancy test, it said positive. I'll talk about it in a minute. And she said, BITCH, this say positive. And I'm scared out of my mind because remember, this lady is abusive, okay? We dealing with an abusive lady here. And so she like, I'm gonna take her to the hospital. So she take me to the hospital. Y'all, these people put the ultrasound on me. And all you see is a full blown baby with bones and all. This lady is so dramatic, she passed out. Okay, I don't even remember. All I know is my stomach was flat for so long. At this point, once my mom is like, it's like, ta-da, I'm here. Once we hadn't told her that I was pregnant, my stomach, like the next day I woke up, it was huge. Okay, I was huge, huge, huge. All stomach, because I was so skinny. I probably weighed like 100 pounds, 109 at the most, 110. Why did I get pregnant? She treated me so bad. She treated me so bad. I guess because she was embarrassed that she got a 16-year-old that's pregnant, and my mother is all about an image. She's all about an image. And so at this time, my brother was in jail. Um, he had just she sent him to jail because that's the type of stuff that she would do. Okay. She treated me bad because I was pregnant and she was mad and she would beat me. She stumped me while I was pregnant in my stomach. Somebody tried to feed me some food. It was not a great pregnancy. Okay. I understand, she's mad because I'm pregnant, but And so, even with my child's father, it wasn't good with him because he felt like, okay, I lied to him about my age. My mom ended up finding out, and she was like on him, like white on rice. You would have thought it was her pregnant, and he was he was there, but he was not there because he didn't really believe that my child was for him because we had only had sex one time, which I understood his perspective later on, but I didn't understand it while I was going through. So just imagine, 16, your mama don't like you. She don't really care for you. No love is being shown. I done been through all these different things coming up, and now I'm pregnant at the age of 16, and it's like no real support system at all. Yeah, as time progressing, make a long story short, I ended up going to meet my baby dad's mother, and her name is Sabrina, and that I guess she had went and asked around about my mama or whatever the case may be. So she's not really knowing if my child's for her son because everybody's saying my mama was this, my mama was that, and so they're labeling me from whatever she was. And so now it's just like, oh well, we don't really know. We're gonna see, when the time get here. But like I said, I found out at a late stage. And so, fast forward, my mama didn't want me to have my baby in North Oaks because North Oaks was not a good hospital. So I ended up having my baby in Covington. I went in on my birthday for a checkup. And when I went in, my blood pressure was extremely high because when me and mama had got the argument, it was just not a great pregnancy at all because she was angry. And my blood pressure was high, so they had to induce me. So once they induced me, they said that, my blood pressure was so high that they had to go ahead and induce me and get my baby now. On my birthday. On my birthday. So, and she didn't come to like 3 that morning. So I had her the next day after my birthday, and my child's father was there. And when he came, I mean, he still wanted the blood test, and I'm like, okay, well, you can pay for it. You don't know who your baby for. You can pay for this blood test. And so, yeah, his mama came, and she was just like, oh yeah, that's my grandbaby. You done made me a grandma, blah 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 blah. And so life was lifing for me because I'm 17 years old. I got a whole family. I got a man and I got a baby. And in this time, life started getting even more harder for me because I don't know what it was with my mom and my baby daddy, but it was something, and it was like she was mad because he didn't have this and he didn't have that. But once he realized that my daughter was for him, he went and got everything she said that he didn't have, which he didn't have his own car. He didn't have his own house. I mean, we young, you know what I'm saying? We kids. And so she allowed him to come stay in her apartment. And it's like one day something transpired. Like I said, my brother was very hard headed. And if anybody know my brother, he was not a great person. He had some good, and I love my brother like I do, but he was very mean. He was very broken. Whatever he experienced, I don't know, but he would always say, I hope you die. I hope you die. Like we would get into real bad arguments. Like we fought all the time. It was not a loving, caring environment at all. And I used to always say him, you better stop saying it before you die before me. Like no lie. I used to always say him, like, you better stop saying it. You better stop saying it. Because he would get so mad that he would just say whatever came to his mouth. And so this one particular day or whatever like that, we was all in my mama's house. It was me, my friend, my baby daddy, and my brother. And my mama was like, well, if I cook for y'all, we wanted her to cook. And she was like, if I cook for y'all, y'all gotta clean my kitchen or whatever. And so my brother, like, he fast talking, oh yeah, we gonna clean your kitchen, we gonna clean your kitchen, we gonna clean up. So he ended up going to school. I don't even know if he went to school that day because he dropped out of school. He ended up going to school the next morning. When I wake up, I saw how my mama's house looked at the food, but she wasn't there. And I told my baby that, I say, man, let me get up and go clean this lady kitchen because if I don't, it's about to be a problem. So I get up, and I go outside. My mom ended up pulling up before the time was time for us to actually get everything clean before she came in there. She was pissed. She was pissed. And so now I'm frustrated at this point because it's just like, mm, yeah, your son said that he was gonna do this, and he didn't, and he left. And here I go again, getting punished for the things that he do. And it's like, you all this, you got this baby. Like she was just so mad at me. So my baby daddy see her going off on me, and I ain't gonna lie. When I used to tell my baby daddy certain stories about her, like when we was talking on the phone, he felt like I was a grown little girl too. He felt like you just trying to be grown. Your mama this, until he came and lived into the house with us, and he saw like, oh, okay, yeah, you ain't lying. She crazy. So I'm like, told you. So she like, oh yeah, you need to clean my kitchen. You need to clean my kitchen, clean my house. Well, I'm like, well, my mom finna do this. So I'm at this point, push crazy. So yeah, I started slamming her cabinets. Now that I remember, she coming there, she trying to fight me or whatever. Make a long story short, she telling me get out. Like you gotta go. So now I am 17 years old with a newborn baby on the streets, nowhere to go. My baby, they don't got nowhere to stay. He's staying with his mama. Like we just messed up at this point. Now I done started stealing. I'm staying on the streets trying to get my daughter somewhere to go. After 2 weeks, I called my mama. I called my mama like, I cannot be on the streets with no newborn child. Like, mom, can you please just let me come home? I apologize, whatever, whatever. The answer was no. So at this point, I gotta do what I gotta do. So she won't let me come back. So now I'm staying with family members. I done got me a little job at McDonald's, and I'm trying to figure this out for my child. Me and my child, my baby daddy, he hustling, he doing what he gotta do, trying to figure it out. We both trying to, what I'm saying, get our own space, get a car. We just trying to figure it out. But he's mad because I'm working at McDonald's. He don't want me working at McDonald's because he's living a fast life, jungle life. And he is about more too. So he's mad that I'm working at McDonald's to the point where he didn't cuss me out and told me I can't work at McDonald's no more the first time you see my check. Like, you're not gonna be flipping on fries. You finna stay at home and keep our daughter. That's your job, okay? You watch our daughter and I'm finna take care of us. And that's what he did. My mama then got mad because basically want to be manipulating and controlling. It's like, okay, you put me out. Now we on our own. You know what I'm saying? We handling business for our child. This lady pops up to where we standing and mad, like, oh, just showing out. Make a long story short, she ended up calling CPS on me because we didn't want to let her see my child's father. This is what he said, go, he the leader. He's taking care of me. He said you can't see his child. It's his child. You can't see his child. Now I get CPS called on me. Well, they call it CPS with defects in Louisiana. I get defects called on me. And now I got to go through this whole process because she's mad. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Me and my baby daddy ended up getting into it or whatever the case may be. So she feel like, oh, okay, well, you put your hands on my child. She took it to a whole nother level. So now I feel like, okay, you against me. You against me with everything that you're doing, everything that you're saying. Cause it's just like, okay, you mad. You mad because, okay, you put me out. You put me out, whatever the case may be, you mad about your kitchen. It's like everything, it's like you want it your way or the highway. Very controlling, very narcissistic. Because it's like, if you don't do what I say do, I'm finna make your life a living hell. And it's just like, okay, I'm not on your time, but I'm 17 years old, so these people had to go by what she was saying. So when I called my mom, I told her, like, I made up a story and lied and said, oh, mama, just being dramatic, because that's me. I'm going to be dramatic. I'm a dramatic person. So I called her, oh, mom, I'm living in a dog shed. Me and Jay, like, can we just come home? Thinking she finna let us come home. Whole time, she done took what I told her and took it to defects and told them these things. Oh, she's on drugs. She living in a dog shed. She don't have this. She don't have that. So the lady come, me and my baby daddy, we ended up getting into an altercation. And when we got to an altercation, you know what I'm saying? I tried to charges ended up getting on him. He was on probation. So basically they picked it up. It was just a big mess. Okay. So by them picking it up, they looking at my face, they seeing like, okay, he did this, so they picked him up and he ended up going to jail behind the charge because of what my mama hadn't told them. Because I went to my mama when this happened, after we hadn't got into it. Because I mean, it's my mama. Who don't want to go to their mama? Yes, I want a relationship with my mama, but it's just not there. Nothing I does is good enough for her. Nothing I do, nothing I say was ever good enough for her. I just don't know why. And at this point, it's just like, okay, whatever. So I go to my mama, and when I go to her, she see my face. She's mad. She tell the police, and I'm thinking, because if I don't say anything, what I'm saying, they not gonna do nothing. Whole time I'm 17, so they're gonna go by what my mama say because I can't talk, and because they gotta go by what she said because I'm underage. They didn't win and pick my baby daddy up. At this point, my baby daddy hadn't got us a car. He hadn't got us a house. Once she hadn't put me out, he was hustling. And he hadn't figured it out for us. Because I didn't want to let her see the child, she took my child, and oh my, y'all don't want to let me see my grandbaby. But remember, this is the same grandbaby that you put on the streets. Make it make sense. So I'm like, okay, so the betrayal, you know what I'm saying, of always being betrayed. Okay, I'll let you come see the child. My brother pull up to the apartment before my baby daddy even go to jail or whatever the case may be. I let her come see the child. She's mad because anything gotta go her way. Everything gotta go her way, or she's going to make a problem. So once we got into it, she called her friend who's a probation officer let him know, oh, my baby daddy sell drugs or whatever the case may be. He's in the streets. They come, you know what I'm saying, come pick him up. Now we done lost the apartment. I'm back on the streets again. Not only that, okay, cool. Get back on the streets. Now I try to go tell them what's going on as far as me and my baby daddy. I try to go tell them, oh, okay, yeah, he didn't put his hands on me, whatever, whatever. They see my face. When they see my face, CPS is defects is in the jail. The lady say, oh yeah, she comes to the back. We gotta take your daughter. I'm 17. And it's so crazy because y'all, I kid y'all not a lot. This same lady, I could drop dead in my line, y'all. This same lady who I called when my mama was beating us, she came out and took pictures of my back. My mama had beat me all down my back. I had bite marks all down my back. This same exact lady, she came and took my daughter. And I kept saying she looked familiar. She looked familiar. She looks familiar. But I could never put my finger on it. Couldn't never put my finger on it. So the same lady who came and took pictures and came and sent me my brother, who didn't remove us from the home, who had proof, you know what I'm saying? She got my daughter. And I'm holding my daughter. I'm crying. And she like, yeah, we're gonna have to take her. And it's like I don't have nobody to call. The one person that I do have to call who do see me, who do understand me is in jail. And he can't rescue me. So it's just me and my daughter at this point. So the lady like, okay, we gotta go to two separate homes, right? And my mama couldn't get my daughter because I called foster care on her and they had proof that I hadn't called, I hadn't called defects on her when I was 14 years old. So she couldn't get my daughter. So now my daughter is in the system and I'm in the system. So you got to understand like my life and how it went and how it was going and how it transpired. It just like nothing good had ever happened for me. Every time I would get something good in my life, you know what I'm saying, it would get taken away from me. So even during this whole process of us trying to fight to get our daughter back, my baby daddy's in jail. They telling him he got to take classes. They telling me I got to take the classes. I'm terrified at this point. So I'm taking the classes. I'm doing what they asking me to do. I'm going to school because I'm in foster care. But I ended up staying with somebody who was my babysitter before. I didn't know that she was a foster care person, and that's what she do. She does what she does. The state pay her to take kids in. So we ended up, getting me and my daughter in the same home. In this time, y'all, even while I'm in foster care, I didn't flashed out on the foster care daughter and then slapped her, and I ended up going to jail because I was 17, so they take you to, the big jail. I ended up making 18, so I couldn't speak for myself until I made 18. So once I made 18, like they had already did their research or wherever the case may be, me and my mama relationship. So at the time, they had to go by what she was saying. So I'm going through all this and I'm fighting through all this to get my daughter back because my daughter was taken from me. And my mama did it. Like she told them these things. So okay, cool. We ended up going to court fighting to get our daughter back. Y'all, this is going on for months that we having to go through this. While baby daddy's in jail, I'm having to go to school. You think I'm caring about even graduating or going to school? No. I'm really trying to figure out how I'm finna get myself out of this predicament, right? So we ended up fighting to get our daughter back. When I made 18, they wanted me to tell my side of the story of what happened with me and my child's father, and how my face ended up, how it ended up. And I'm not gonna lie, I lied. Like I wasn't gonna tell him that he hit me like we got into a fight, baby. I came up with me a whole story. You know what I'm saying? That I got jumped somewhere. I had it all down pat. Okay, he was not going to jail because this man is taking care of me. He's providing for me and my child. The only person that's there for me. And so it's just like, oh, okay, bet you're not gonna go to jail. Make sure. So we ended up getting our daughter back, y'all. When we got our daughter back, we probably spent 30 days together, and my child's father ended up getting killed. This is when life really took a left turn for me. And I feel like this is when I became numb. And I had no feelings towards nobody and no feelings towards life because the one person who saw me is no longer here to see me. The one person who saw me is no longer here to protect me because I feel like that's what he did for me and my child. He was a protector. He was a provider. No, it was not a perfect relationship. No, we didn't always see eye to eye, but he was actually there for me. And this man got murdered. It was so bad. I went into shock. I didn't even cry. I'm looking at him dead on the ground with his body. after going through this. So it's been like a domino effect in my life of things just continuously happening to me, of brokenness. Um, I go to the scene and I see this man hanging out of his car. My best friend, the love of my life, somebody who, you know, took care of me and my daughter. This person is never coming back. And I went into shock, and I just kept rolling with the punches of life and having to take care of my daughter. Just trying to be strong and like figure out life. And even after that, um, I'm just, like I said, rolling with the punches and just trying to be strong because my baby daddy took care of me. So he left me with nothing. I had nothing, no money, couldn't pay my bills. And that's when hair kicked in. That's what I knew, That's what I knew. Because that's what I was taught. I was raised in the salon. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to do hair. Like I gotta get this money for me and my child. Time progressed or whatever. My brother was at the funeral. He was there for me. My brother was giving me money. He was taking care of me. I was like, all right, I'm gonna move to Atlanta. I'm trying to go to Atlanta because I just wanted a fresh start. And I couldn't survive there. Like it was hard for me. So I ended up getting scared, ended up going back. And then like 9 months later, my brother ended up getting killed. The one person who was like, because even though we grew up together, so we both got beat, but I got beat more than him. And I was way more responsible more than him. And the one person who was like, I got you, your baby daddy gonna make sure you ain't Jay good. It's no longer here. I grew up with him. I raised him. He was kind of like my child. And I'm not gonna lie, we butt heads a lot. It's a difference when you have an intimate relationship with your child's father, and then you have a relationship with your brother. It was a love hate relationship because don't play with my brother. Like we can be in here already finna spit on each other. Like don't play with him. But and if I call my little brother for something, like even if it was money wise, like somebody did something to me, he was pulling up. I'm never gonna see that person ever again. So I feel like I was in shock for a long time. And I was just going through life in survival mode, trying to make it happen, trying to live. And I feel like that fast that I always talk about that I did kind of woke me up to the numbness that I feel. It's like I had an encounter with God because I was still having heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. And I got tired. I got tired of losing. So I was like, you know what? I want to try something different with God. I want to try a new way in life because it was just so much hitting me. And I never grieved. I never took the opportunity because I was too busy being a mom. I was too busy trying to figure out life for me and my daughter. I never took the time to stop. I was just going in life. I was angry and I was bitter and I was miserable. And I think I had just got to a point where, life was still happening for me. I feel like I was in a cycle. I feel like I was in a cycle that I got to a point where I'm just like, something is not right here because I was waking up mad. I think so much bitterness had took over me. And that's what made me do the fast. And I think that's what woke me up, like, emotionally. And that's what woke me up spiritually, and just to seek God. And so I kind of just like made this story short. But, I just want to encourage somebody to never give up. I am on this healing journey, and I'm just now starting to heal from the shock of losing my child's father and my brother. And today I just wanted to wake up and tell my story that God is real. And I don't know what you may be facing or what you going through, but to never give up on yourself. We all have a story. And that bitterness and that brokenness kept me from relationships. It kept me from friendships, kept me from trusting people, because I never seen love. But, you know, even through that, I was always pleasing people because I wanted to be validated. I wanted somebody to see me. And the one person who did see me was taken away from me. And I'm not gonna lie, I have not been okay since. But like I said, I'm starting this journey of healing because I have to. Healing is important. Um, and I feel like if you want to be a mom, to heal first, make sure you look within, because some of those things that I even experience as a child, I started doing to my own child. Not really having great parenting skills, you know what I'm saying? Discipline her in the wrong way. And I thought it was okay because, okay, this is how I was disciplined. And so brokenness and bitterness and resentment and just being miserable can really affect you. It can affect your business. It can affect your mental. It can affect your spirit. And then doing that fast, God showed me those things. He was able to show me why I was broken in. He was able to show me why I need healing in. And so